Right, I'm going to go through the answers to this quiz over direct and indirect objects, predicate, nominative, predicate, adjective. Now, to get points back, I will give you half credit for each one you miss. So for every 2 that you correct, you get 1 point back. To get the point, though, you're going to have to rewrite a different sentence, and I'll explain that to you once we start going through this. Number 1, we ate steak for dinner. After the meeting, we had steak as the direct object. Steak was the direct object in that. So to get the point back, you have to rewrite a new sentence using a direct object. So maybe instead of we ate steak for dinner, you might say, I bought chicken at the store. Okay, so that gives me another sentence that has a subject, a verb, and then a direct object. And so that is how you would get a half a point back. Okay, so for every 2, you'd get 1 point back. All right. Snow and ice covered the streets. We had streets as the direct object. Streets would be a direct object there. Number 3, she gives violin lessons to Jacob, the boy from the neighborhood. We have she gives. What does she give? She gives lessons. And so lessons comes off of an action verb. So lessons is a direct object there. A lot of people had marked Jacob for something, indirect object, but it does not fit the rule. Indirect objects cannot come after the direct object, so that would not work. Number 4, everyone loves candy whenever they need a sugar fix. Everyone loves, what do they love? Candy. So candy is a direct object. The teacher, frustrated with our talking, gave us an assignment. So like I had mentioned in class, when you have these things, these are interrupters. Just take them out of the sentence when they have commas around them, and you have the teacher gave us an assignment. So you have the teacher gave. What did the teacher give? Assignment is the direct object, and then us is the indirect object. Okay, assignment, direct object, us, indirect object. I should mention too, you need to correct these sentences also, and then write your new sentence. So you can't just leave, say you just had us as a direct object in that sentence. You have to change it to an indirect object and make assignment direct object, then give us a new sentence. The children are playing like wild animals in the street. We have are playing as your verb. And so whom or what are the children playing? Like animals in the street does not answer what or whom. So you just leave this sentence alone. You don't have anything. So you should have written none for that sentence. Number 7, I bought a balloon for Diane for our anniversary. I bought, what did I buy? Balloon. Balloon is the direct object. That is all because Diane shows up after balloon, so she cannot be the indirect object. Number 8, can you send me a letter? You should probably go ahead and change that to you can send me a letter. And that makes that a little clearer. And so you can send. What can you send? Letter is the direct object. And then me would be the indirect object. The baby who has been up all day needs a nap. Take out this part. And you just have, oops. Take out this. And then you just have the baby needs a nap. The baby needs, whom or what does the baby need? Nap. Nap is the direct object. Number 10, the students asked the teacher many questions. Students asked. Whom or what did the students ask? They asked questions. Who did they ask the questions to? Teacher. So teacher's the indirect object. Questions was the direct object there. Now, starting at 11, we start to see the appearance of a lot of linking verbs, and so we have a lot of predicate, adjective, predicate, nominative answers. After the long hike, the scouts were hungry and tired. Scouts were, what were they? Hungry and tired. Hungry and tired describes the scouts, so they're predicate adjective because they're hooked up with the linking verb. Were, scouts were hungry and tired. George Bush was our 41st president. Your linking verb is was. What was George Bush? President. And so then president is a predicate nominative because it's equal to George Bush. George Bush equals president. The pink sky at sunset looked beautiful. Sky looked. Looked is a linking verb here because it's telling how the sky looked. It's not performing an action of looked. And so then beautiful is a predicate adjective. Beautiful is a predicate adjective. Laura studied architecture. Here's the one where I kind of messed up because I had already put action right here. So you knew it was an action verb, which means you're looking for a direct object. That direct object is architecture. The fresh baked cookies smelled delicious. Smelled is a linking verb. The cookies smelled. Whom or what? Or how did they smell? They smelled delicious. So delicious is a predicate adjective. Same way as 16. The river is muddy. Is a linking verb. What is the river? Muddy. Muddy describes the river. predicate adjective. 17, the prairie wildflowers were daisies. Were is your linking verb. The wildflowers were, what were they? They were daisies. Daisies equal wildflowers, so daisies would be a predicate nominative because they're renaming wildflowers. They're not describing them. 18, we have a predicate adjective with happy because we're telling how Raphael looked. He looked happy, so it's a predicate adjective. 19, his excuse sounded silly to me. Sounded was a tough verb, but it's a linking in this case because nothing's committing a sound. It's telling how something sounded. So excuse sounded, how did it sound? Silly is our predicate adjective. Silly, predicate adjective. Number 20, John felt embarrassed. Embarrassed is a predicate adjective because we're telling how John feels. 21, Bill's favorite sports were hockey and football. Hockey and football are renaming the sports that were Bill's favorites, and so they're predicate nominatives because you're linking verb were, so you're looking for predicate adjective nominative. Hockey and football were predicate nominatives. The mayor's policy is important to our city's welfare. Is your linking verb. It does not have an action with it, so it's linking. So what is the policy? Important. And so important was a predicate adjective in 22. The girl in the green sweater is my sister. Again, we have is. The sweater is, what is the, or I'm sorry, not the sweater is. The girl is. The girl is, what is the girl? Sister. So that's predicate nominative because it renames the girl. Girl equals sister. When you can say equals, it's predicate nominative. 24, no one heard the announcement on the radio. No one heard. Whom or what did no one hear? Announcement. Since heard is being used as an action, that means we're in the direct object range, so announcement is a direct object there. Torches lit the tunnel in the gloomy mine shaft. Torches lit. Lit is an action verb. Whom or what did the torches light? Tunnel. So tunnel is the direct object. Moving on down to number 26, this item on the list is unnecessary. Is a linking verb. List or item is. What is the item? Unnecessary. Unnecessary is a predicate adjective. Two valuable metals are gold and silver. We have metals are. What are the metals? Because are is a linking verb. They are gold and silver. Now, a lot of people miss this and put predicate adjective, even though when I went through this on the Pear Deck in class, I told you guys it's predicate nominative. They are renaming the metals. They're not describing the metals. Gold and silver are the type of metals that they are, so they're renaming them. So they should be predicate nominative. 28, when will Lena tell him the truth? First step, instead of finding the verb, is to restate the sentence. Lena will tell him the truth. Put that in there. We'll tell him the truth. Okay, you can get whenever you flip a question and it's when, just get rid of when. Okay, so Lena will tell him the truth. Lena will tell. Whom or what will she tell? Truth. So truth is your direct object. Do we know who she's going to tell the truth to? Yes, we are. She's going to tell it to him. So him is the indirect object. 29, Jake bought his coat for a very low price. Jake bought. Whom or what did Jake buy? Action verb because he bought a coat. So coat is the direct object. His is describing coat. It's not who he bought the coat for. It was his coat. So that is not an indirect object. So you should not make that an indirect object. Higher education gives most people better opportunities. Education gives. Whom or what does education give? It gives opportunities. Opportunities is the direct object. Who does it give those opportunities to? People. So people is the indirect object. 31, we have Joseph Audubon was an amazing artist. Was is our linking verb. It does not have an action with it, so it remains linking. What was Joseph Audubon? He was an artist, not amazing, artist. That is renaming him, so it's predicate nominative. 32, after hours of hard work, his muscles were stiff and sore. Stiff and sore is describing his muscles, and were is the linking verb, so stiff and sore would be predicate adjectives. And finally, the Constitution guarantees freedom to all. Constitution guarantees. Guarantees is an action verb. Whom or what does the Constitution guarantee? Freedom. And so freedom is a direct object. All is not an indirect object because it is after the direct object freedom, so you don't mark it that way. Okay? Like I said, the ones that you missed you have to correct, and then you have to write a sentence that has the same pattern. So if it went subject, verb, and then indirect object and a direct object, that's how you would write that next sentence. If it just had a direct object, that's how you'd write it. If it just had a predicate adjective, predicate nominative, same thing, okay? So that will give you half your points back that you missed on the test or quiz.